The thing is, ever since the towers have been lit, the beacons have been lit, I mean, the 8 armies are now advancing on this position, which means that we have to deal with 8 waves of enemy forces. Now, what does destroying the towers do for us? Well, it doesn't necessarily help us prevent the armies from ever showing up, but it does help us slowing them down. With all 3 towers active, they don't need to make any pit stops. They already know, go here, and they go straight for your base, leaving you very little time to breathe, let alone build reinforcements. So what you gotta do is destroy these towers as soon as you can to give yourself some leeway. With each tower destroyed, you will make the armies confused for a longer period of time before they actually think, let's go over here and try to attack whatever is there. See, now we got 2 towers destroyed. Will take even longer to get to our base, because we have to go to each and every tower that's destroyed to investigate. So now that whenever we go to this tower and destroy it, we will be spending the longest amount of time possible to get to us, which will give us a lot of free time to prepare our forces. Every bit of time is worth it, so don't dawdle too long. Use your forces, whatever's left out of them, and destroy the beacons. Here we go. All of the beacons have been knocked offline. Time to make some more reinforcements. And now we will have to wait, for this is now the waiting game. Don't worry. The enemies will show up soon enough. In fact, we can see some of them right now. Oh, great. Don't you just hate it when your piles of ore suddenly disappear? Finite resources. You can see some of the enemies right now. I think that might be the first army, but I might be mistaken. I know that most of the time the towers are visited by only 1 unit out of the entire army, so don't believe what you see. But now that these guys are here, they will now think, well, this is as far as I can go, so it must mean that the base is a little bit to the north, and we will go to the north. There you will have to defend your camp. Luckily for us, our units are mostly rejuvenated and ready to fight. Bring it on. Taste my steel indeed. Nice. I do have to say that the battle music in this map is also quite fucking amazing. Much like the rest of the soundtrack. You should definitely give it a listen whenever you have a chance. We have enough resources to survive all of the waves. I'm pretty sure of that. Here we go, a little boost of health doesn't hurt. In fact, I think we can summon another slave master to assist us.
Where's the prey?
It would be better if we could get the armies to show up at the front of the camp rather than the back. Because Because let's be honest, if we show up at the back, we kinda defeat the purpose of our towers. We want them to make use of our towers. Or rather, I should say, be taken advantage of. I believe the guys spawned from that ring. Let's see. I've never been at that ring actually. Let's see what happens there. Oh yeah, I remember now. I've actually been here. Whoops. That's where we gather. A well has run dry.
I crave blood. Target practice. What are my orders?
Oh, some more of them are showing up. Well, we are going to learn the harsh truth. Towers do indeed hurt. Ah, now that's what I'm talking about. First sight in the morning, and it's brutal clashing of the swords and clubs. Very invigorating for the evil inclined individual.
I await your command.
Could use another fate point to rejuvenate these bastards, because we do not have access to that one hero which can help us rejuvenate faster. Not quite yet, sadly. It may seem like they're being attacked rather quickly, but do not be alarmed. This is how fast it takes for the armies to show up when all of the beacons are destroyed. So you can imagine how quickly they spawn out of these wombs of theirs. Then they have all of the beacons operational. You barely have any room to breathe, like I said.
Yes.
They appear to have some kind of a fate, some kind of a place of power under their control. That's not very nice. Doesn't matter, we got this. Each and every one of these waves counts as an army, which means the final army should be coming very soon. Sons of bitches.
A wise plan, master.
We're doing our forces in. You don't have to worry about this too much though. As long as you have managed your resources well enough, you shouldn't have run out of them yet. Then again, seems like I'm pretty low on food already. It's always the food that runs out faster for the orcs. I'll make sure he doesn't get killed now. This is where speed of the wolf really helps out, because he can just use it to escape the battle. And he runs faster than the horses, I believe. Or at least fast enough to outrun them most of the time. Here we go, this'll help. Strangely enough, he still didn't get any messages about the final army. Once that message shows up, you know it's happening. Ah, here we go. Scouts report that one final army of Gondor approaches from the east. This army is much larger than the other waves, so prepare your best defenses.
Words for Grishnakh. Who can I smash?
Well, that's gonna be interesting, isn't it? The best we got is this, and we have to make do with it, for we are kind of out of food.
Time for blood.
That isn't to say that we cannot survive with what we got. Oh no, I think we'll be able to survive just fine.
Ready for battle.
We just need one more fate point.
Time for blood.
In fact, I think we might be under attack by this force already. No, I think not quite. It's much smaller than what I remember it to be. Wow, Grishnak's already level 6. This is a great place to grind levels. But yeah, now we possess 4 fate points. So once this army approaches our camp, we'll be able to summon the might of the obelisk. Can't wait till that happens. Once that army shows up and is destroyed, the mission is over. So we better fucking hurry up, because we're kinda running out of resources here. Seems like most of our army is composed out of archers. That's not necessarily a bad thing, as we learned from the good guys already. The elven archers proved to be a valuable asset, especially once we became cloaked. That makes you wonder, do we have anything that gets cloaked? And the answer is yes, we do indeed. However, they will be showing up much later. And they're not quite as useful as you might think. Not to get mixed messages here, they are kinda useful. They're just not ranged useful. You know, I always prefer an invisible ranged unit than an invisible melee unit. It's just the way I work. 2 horses. Ah, here we go. So I summoned thee, the obelisk. Now we take a lot less damage from these bastards, while they still take the same amount. This is a very crucial component in our survival, because, well, if we didn't have the obelisk, our forces would have been decimated a long time ago. But now, we won.
The horse boys have been wiped out! Man's flesh for all!
With the destruction of the supply outpost feeding the enemy armies, the forces of Mordor were now free to press upon the defenses of Rohan. Although Grishnach's troops were spotted by the great Beacons of Gondor, the defenders' reinforcements were defeated before they could establish a camp and prepare for a large-scale battle. The vicious warg riders were instrumental in turning the tide of the battle in Rohan, providing an effective counter to the enemy horsemen and a means to swiftly cross the long Anorien Valley.
Am I the only one that gets kind of a make your own adventure feel out of these descriptions? Like every time we narrate what happened after the mission. After the mission is over. It's like, we got this game, but it's only like a little bit of a window of what we saw, of what we should have seen, actually. It's like, what we see here, we should take it into our minds and expand upon it to make the real picture. It's kind of weird. But I guess that's what happens when the game is good. With that said, time to clear out the way.
The Dark Lord Sauron is intent upon reclaiming his throne at Dol Guldur. The Lord of the Nazgul travels to the tower in preparation for his master's return, clearing the path of any who oppose him.
Notice, how the date for this mission is 3rd Age 1050, whereas the other two missions were 3rd Age 3018. This begins much earlier, back when Sauron was not officially known to be back. This is where we're going to find out that he is quite indeed fucking back, and he likes to keep his Dol Guldur to himself.